Derry is the home of singer-songwriter Jordan O'Keeffe, a voice that first caught the world's attention on Britain's Got Talent and one that's continued to evolve since 2013. Behind Jordan's music lies a story of struggle, a battle with addiction and the strength it took to become sober. Today, Jordan's songs carry a new meaning, shaped by resilience, honesty and hope. During my talk with Jordan, we looked back on his overnight fame back in 2013, his recovery process and discovering himself through his own sound. Jordan O'Keeffe, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on, I appreciate it.
Thanks for doing this today, how are you?
I'm keeping very, very well. Being a father, being a husband, and then got so many projects that are, you know, obviously they're not setting the world alight right now, but they're in motion, and I think you have to just keep at it. So just trying to be as consistent as I am. It's not easy, but you know, I think, you know, do you get the same yourself? You know, like some days you just be really, really buzzing, and then some days you just be really, really down. Yeah. I always say to my wife, I feel like a woman because I always think I have a period every month. I swear to God I do, because I always go down, and it always happens every month. So like,
I think that might be a creative thing though too.
It is. I think it's when you're doing everything yourself. It's a burnout. That's what it is. Yeah. It's a burnout. But I get very emotional and all. I'm watching videos and crying and all. So it's just up and down. But you know what, keeping it consistent, and the music's starting to take off again, which is great. And just just keep. So
for anybody that doesn't know who you are. Yeah. We're walking the walls here now in Derry. What part of Derry are you from then?
I live out in a place called Drumahoe.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm actually a Protestant, which probably people don't really know.
Cool.
So here, well, I've said it before online, but like, I'm a Protestant, but I grew up in a Protestant area. My mum and dad are both Protestants, but because my name's O'Keeffe, everyone always thought I was a Catholic. So like, but I grew up around Catholics my whole life, so I've been in and out of the town since no age, and never really seen religion as a thing. You know, I still don't. I still think like if you believe in whatever, then that's your decision. But I wouldn't, like, if you were a Hindu or a Catholic or a Protestant or whatever, it doesn't really bother me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I grew up in Drumahoe, out in the water side. I used to try and chat like a dairy man when I was younger. But really, I'm a culty, so now I've just embraced the. Hi, sir. What's the crack?
Would you call Drumahoe a culty?
Hi, do you know what's mad? You go 10 minutes out the road and you
get.
Well,
I'm Claudia, you see.
Are you
so
Claudia?
I'm a proper culty, so I would call you a culty.
Right there. Whoa, here we're now on this here. You're a proper culty. Drumahoe, Derry ones would see Drumahoe as a culty. I remember saying they ones, we go back to my house for a drink on nights out, and they go, "Where do you live?" Drumahoe, and they're like, "What?"
No chance.
You'd swear you were going to Belfast.
Exactly.
So Drumahoe, that's where I'm from.
And then did you start singing from a young age, or was it just something you're going to do when you were a bit older?
I started singing whenever it actually happened in karaoke in Spain or on holidays. My mum and dad would always put me up, and like I used to have like a mohawk or like a pair of glasses and one of them flaming shirts and like 3/4 length. I'm getting up to sing karaoke and people are looking going, "Who's this?" But I look like your man at Stuart Little.
Oh yes.
Looked a bit like him, so getting up and doing that there, and the confidence came from that, so I just continued to do it. And then I got to the stage where I was getting quite good at it. So it was like getting up and people were like, "Oh my God." So it started from then, and I started getting into entertainment. So like one time I went up the stairs and got my mum's red leather jacket, like a black glove, a fedora hat, and the jeans with the white socks and the shoes on. I come down and do Michael Jackson for her and her friends and all the house. And then I learnt the full Peter Kay set.
Right,
you know, Peter Kay, I come down and do a full Peter Kay set in front of them. So I was always interested in entertaining and singing and doing all that sort.
In the early 2010s, Britain's Got Talent and The X Factor weren't just Saturday night TV. They were a phenomenon, where every Saturday night we all gathered round the TV screen, hearing voices from small towns suddenly becoming household names overnight. For so many young people back then, these shows represented hope, a chance to chase a dream that once felt out of reach and give ordinary lives extraordinary moments. Prior to you going for your Britain's Got Talent interview, what made you want to do the audition?
I'd watched the show from a young age. Like I remember when Owen Coyle was on it. Like it was just class. I think, do you want me to be honest, and probably the more I think about it now since I've got sober is, whenever I was younger, I was bullied a lot. Like, do you know what I mean? I was always put down, or it was like made they feel a certain way. So whenever I seen like Owen Coyle on TV, it was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the admiration, the love, and basically then maybe I wanted to just be fucking loved. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you wanted people to look at you in a different way. Because when I was in school, I wasn't popular. And I got treated that way, do you know what I mean? Until I started singing and people started to respect me a bit more, or look at me differently. So I think, you know, the reason why I went for it was like, obviously I had a dream of becoming a singer and a musician, but I wanted that sort of people to treat me differently.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
Aye.
Because a lot of people would just give the answer of, no, I just wanted to be a singer, but
aye.
You obviously look at it differently.
Aye.
Like it was 13 years ago, wasn't it?
I think too that like, I think getting sober has made me self-reflect a lot. And you could just turn and say, oh, I just wanted to be a singer, but in reality, it's like, why did I really do that? And when you think about it, like, my childhood was great in ways, but outside of the house, it wasn't great. Like, I was either bullied or put down, and I was one of them people. I'd have been like a spark, like see it the way I am now, a bit more confident, a bit more out there. Whereas back in, you'd always people trying to knock that back, maybe because they weren't that themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So it was knocked back and knocked back and knocked back, and then I went for that show, and the love I got from it was amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, whenever things die off, that's whenever things start to become difficult. And
exactly.
I think going on that show, wanting the way, that shouldn't have been the reason to do what I was doing. To feel the way I was feeling, I should have healed that side of me before I went and done it. Because
but you were 18 though too.
I know, but it's just for somebody else who's probably watching. Because I get a lot of kids that are like, I want to go on that show and I want to go and do this, and I'm like, see, before you go and do that, make sure you're up there is 100%. Because I was a child who was, or a kid or teenager, I'll go up this way, a teenager who was struggling with a lot of things that happened to me and didn't deal with them. And then what happens is when you stop that show and everything stops dying off, the problems are still there.
Yeah.
So they got worse, and that's how drink and drugs took over, and that's how I got into addiction.
Yeah. Britain's Got Talent held auditions across the UK, from London and Manchester to Belfast and beyond. By travelling to different cities, the show could reach a wider range of talent, giving performers from all regions and background a fair chance to be seen. For Jordan, that journey began with his very first audition in Belfast.
You auditioned in Belfast to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah, so take me through from auditioning in Belfast right through to, because you were in the final, which is crazy. Like,
I know.
Some people probably
what's mad,
know the hype of what Britain's Got Talent was at the time.
It was huge.
That and the X Factor was humongous.
It was like 14 million people watching the show. But like I see, whenever I say to people now, like people don't know me, they be like, oh, like what do you do? And I'm like a singer, and I'm like, oh, right, okay. I'm like, I was on Britain's Got Talent like 13 years ago. They'd be like, oh, and did you get through on the show? I'm like, no, I got the final. And they're like, what? So it's like a lot of people. There's a generation there that probably watched loads of it, and they're probably getting their 18 now or 19 or whatever. But it was crazy. So I had auditioned before for Britain's Got Talent and X Factor, and been like flat out on YouTube and doing stuff. And just said to my friend Dermot one day, like, I'm going up to do this audition in Belfast in the Hilton. Do you want to go up? And he went up with me, and it was quite. Like, I thought it was going to be really busy because we went to one Liverpool and it was mental. Like queues and queues of people. So went up there and was in and out in no longer than an hour or two, I think. But they asked me to sing a second song and they looked quite interested. And at that stage it was when One Direction were out, and I sort of fit that bill by the way I looked. You know, then we rolled up shirts and all that crack. And Britain's Got Talent have teams, TV, which they can bring on the show as well. So I had auditioned through teams. But then I got a phone call from a girl called Layla, who was Simon Cowell's like right-hand woman, and she was trying to bring me on the show. And then turned out, because I had auditioned through teams, they couldn't do that, so I had to wait. So it was like up and down. I was on the show, I was off the show, and then I finally got the call to say I was on it. And the thing is, throughout that whole process, you're thinking, am I going to get TV time? I've got an audition, but am I really going to get shown? And jeepers, I got like 7.5 minutes, which was crazy.
I know, because I actually watched it last night again, because I was like, I must give this a good watch. And the whole, like, you got the whole segment of what people, like, you got your backstory, you got your interview and all before. It was great. How long was it before that actually aired on TV? You obviously had a time in between.
I think the audition was in November, and it went on in April.
Right, okay, so you had about 6 months there.
Or no, sorry, I'm lying. Maybe it might have been February. I found out, no, I can't remember. I think it was November or February. No, it was November. It was November.
Okay.
And then it was April, I think so.
So then, overnight, basically, like...
Crazy.
Did you have social media and stuff at the time?
Twitter.
Right.
I watched my phone when the audition went out. My phone was just like going mental. had to turn the phone off because it was just spamming. And I went on. I think I went up from like 100,000 followers on
overnight.
Twitter overnight. Like
that's crazy.
Everywhere. I'll tell you a funny story. I've told this a few times, but we went out that night. So the edition went out. We went on the Sugar. And
for people who don't know, Sugar is a nightclub in Derry that actually used to be. We're just sitting here. Must clean the camera a wee bit.
Did you go to Sugar?
Of course, I went to Sugar.
Sugar was unbelievable.
I feel like I was the last age to kind of go to Sugar. Like
you'll never get anywhere like Sugar ever again. So went there, and like, it was just pure buzz. Everyone was loving it, and I was loving the reception I was getting. And I was standing in the beer garden, and this girl, beautiful blonde hair, looking at me and all. And I was like, I could be on here. My new song, Whiskey Eyes, is literally about something like this.
Right.
Someone giving you the eye sort of thing. She came over to speak to me, and she was like, were you the lad that was on Britain's Got Talent? And I was like, she was, you were fucking shouting. And that just, shoop,
you're lying.
Hey, it was a bit of crack. That didn't upset me. It was just more like,
I'm shook.
You know what I mean? Hey, fuck it, what do you get? But it brought me back down to earth.
In 2013, Jordan's episode went live on national TV. He received over 7 minutes of airtime and was watched by millions across the UK. Overnight, he became a household name throughout the UK and Ireland, stepping into the next stage of Britain's Got Talent and making it all the way to the final.
The pressure of the show, they were telling me through rehearsals, like, oh, you're not putting enough emotion into it. You can see in the camera, you're just not. And I was like, right, okay. So then I started being more emotional. And they were like, oh, it's too much now. And they're like, fucking hell, just let me do what I'm doing. Let me be me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel that way. They wanted me to be something that I wasn't. So there was pressure in that. Like, I was crying before I went out.
Oh, really?
I did my vocal coach. I was crying. It was just so much pressure.
Do you think it was kind of like all, like from nothing to like 0 to 100 almost?
Yeah. And the other thing too was they could have helped with the pressure.
Yeah.
But they put me under that pressure, probably to see how well I would cope. But it was intense, like. And I think that's a problem with the music business too. They try and test you out so much. They try and I think if you make it in your own way, you know, they'll play by your terms.
Right, okay.
Whereas them shows, you have to play by their terms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jordan went all the way to the finals of Britain's Got Talent, ultimately finishing in 6th place, an incredible achievement. However, after the curtains close on these reality shows, normal life often returns instantly for those who have not won. Considering the magnitude of the show, I was keen to learn about the aftercare and support offered to someone of Jordan's age in their teens after the cameras stopped rolling on the final night.
No real aftercare, nobody really to help you, and when people say it's a cutthroat business, you realise how cutthroat it is whenever you get to that level. See, at this early stage, it's not as bad. When you're sort of playing in the bars or getting into the business, it's not as bad. But see, whenever you get that high level, it's the people pretend they know you and want to be friends with you because you're doing well. But see, as soon as that stops, forget about you. Like you're nothing. You're nobody. They'll not even respond to your texts.
In recent years, Jordan's online presence has focused on his journey of recovery from drugs and alcohol. I wanted to understand how his addiction developed after 2013. And what it looked like in his later 20s. Jordan, during our chat, was very candid about what life was like before his sobriety.
So you're very open about your addiction that you had.
Yeah.
Now, did that come kind of directly after Britain's Got Talent, or was that?
It started before, but it wasn't as bad. Like I took drugs before the show.
Yeah.
And I was doing that sort of thing before, but it was never out of control. Whereas over time, it just sparked into something that was. I think after the show I wasn't even really taking drugs. Although I think after my first edition I went to Liverpool that night and was heavy on it, like. But I wasn't flat out on it. And it wasn't really a big thing in my life. It was more when things started to die down. And over the years it just got worse and worse and worse until I stopped. Like it became.
Do you want to walk over here?
Became a thing where I needed it. Whereas when I started out when I was younger, it was like a bit of crack. And they were the good days, then I started getting the really bad, dark days. And you start to hate yourself. And, you know, I think whenever I started, I probably didn't love who I was. And then as the more and more I kept doing it, the more apparent that it came that I really didn't like the person I was, you know? Yeah.
So were you, after Britain's Got Talent, and that sort of started to, can we use the word spiral a bit?
Oh, geez, tornadoed.
Tornado.
You know what I mean? Spiral.
So what was your working format? Were you kind of back in the bar singing, or you had a record deal at one stage, didn't you? Yeah. So did that kind of overlap time-wise?
No, that took like 4 years after.
Right, okay.
Which was crazy because I just never thought that would have happened. The record deal enabled me more, I think, because I was still drinking and taking drugs that time, but then whenever I got signed, I felt like, oh, I've made it. They're going to take care of me, and I should have been doing the work I'm doing now. So, not that I'm saying they enabled me, but it just gave me another reason to be like, fuck this. I was getting paid monthly with an advance. I spend it all on drinking drugs every month. Like.
Yeah.
I had a Wonga loan.
What's that?
No, a payday loan, even though I was getting paid like good money.
Right, okay.
Aye, so, hi.
A Wonga loan? What's that?
A payday loan.
I never heard that before.
That's only for addicts.
Right, okay.
Gamblers and fucking...
I'll have to Google that.
Gamblers, drinkers and drug takers.
For so many people, addiction appears and forms in different ways. However, I was very interested in finding out what Jordan's looked like for him during his peak.
The addiction part of things, so like whenever that was kind of at your height, what did that look like, and how did you come about realising going, I needed to stop this? Like,
it would have looked like me going, so working all weekend, like you would have seen me, but I was thinking I was sober when I met you last year. So like, working all weekend, doing probably 9 gigs a weekend, drinking throughout that too. Coming to like maybe a Wednesday night, going to my local bar, sitting on my own with nobody else, drinking pints, hoping somebody would walk in the door just to chat to them. And then I would order a bag of stuff and I would head back to the house with a bottle of vodka and probably sit there till about 8 or 9 in the morning on my own.
oh my God.
So I was coming in the morning, like I have a garage where my studio was. I'd have been in there on my own at 9 in the morning and I'd have come in and my kids would have been getting up. Like thankfully they didn't see much of it, but there was days that I'd have come in and I'd have been like, I went to my bed and laying there till like 2 o'clock in the day and got up and then just sat eating McDonald's and shit food all day to make myself feel better. And it was shit. Like, so you look back at it now, like it's a shocking way to live your life. Like I'm up this morning at 7 o'clock. I bought myself a sauna for at the back of the house, a wood barrel sauna. I'm out chopping wood, sawing wood, getting that ready, going to the ice bath, and just instantly your day's immediately better.
A pivotal moment in Jordan's journey towards sobriety came after a night out in his local bar, when he ended up with a broken jaw, an incident that would become a turning point in his life.
Went to my local bar, as I always did on a Wednesday, and I'll not get into the story, mainly because personally done it, somebody messaged me and asked me not to ever talk about it online. Because they want to protect someone who's close to them, and I was like, you know what? But you know what's funny? I still get messages from these fake accounts being like, oh, you don't talk about you getting your job, and this mad story that comes from the person who done it.
Right.
I've never heard the story anywhere else, but I've only heard it from the police whenever he told them that story, which was complete balls.
Right.
And then I've heard it from comments online. And what I find is sad is like that happened 2 years ago. I'm still getting this person, or his friends or whoever it is, talking about it. Whereas I've let it go. Why don't they let it go? Unless they want me to come online and talk about it, which I don't think should happen. But anyway, got my jaw broke. And had to go and do a wedding in Edinburgh on the Friday. So I had to travel to Edinburgh on the Thursday with the jaw broke. Sang at the wedding on the Friday with the jaw broke. Got surgery on the Saturday and was home on the Sunday.
Right.
So whenever I went through all that, the pain, because like I wasn't really on meds, I was just taking paracetamol and ibuprofen. And like the pain I'd have been on was shocking. So that really weighs me up a bit, being like, where are you going with your life? What are you doing? Like you want so much from life, but you're just putting yourself in these positions all the time, hanging around with arseholes. And I said to myself, I'm never drinking again. I said it when the jaw got broke, I said, I'm never drinking again. And nobody believed me. And then maybe if I didn't go through the pain that I went through, you know, it just taught me that that's enough suffering now.
Yeah.
And I had kids, I was coming home, my jaw was out to here. I had to go and stay with mum and dad's for 2 months. I barely seen my children. You know, if that doesn't change a man, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Or anybody, not just a man.
So you just decided overnight that was it? You didn't go through any sort of recovery process? Or
Just decided that was it. But don't get me wrong, I was in with mum and dad's for 2 months. That was like rehab. Because I didn't leave the house. I was on painkillers. I actually never thought it was that bad of a, like, no one ever hear like alcoholics and addicts, they're like at it every day. Because I wasn't at it every day, but whenever I got my jaw broke, every night I went to bed I had to get up at 2 in the morning because the bed was just covered in sweat.
Right.
So that was me detoxing, getting everything out of my body. And once you go through that period, the other thing too is, I think with addicts, you need to have something to do when you get sober. Boredom, loneliness, there are certain things that'll relapse you. Whereas whenever I got sober, I just went straight into work. Boom. How can I make my life and my kids and my wife's life so much better? What can I give them? Because we had no visa. Me and my wife couldn't travel because she was from Brazil. No visa. So we weren't going on holidays. We weren't doing this, we weren't doing that. So we were like, life is shit. We literally did fuck all together. And fast forward 2 years later and we're spending every minute of every day together. Like people always say about TikTok, and we do these food reviews, and people don't understand us. That's all spending time as a family.
Jordan has since returned to the music scene with a fresh perspective and a new sense of purpose. Embracing his sobriety, he has created a new sound, one that reflects his journey, resilience and love for life.
So at the moment you are releasing new music, because I seen you're on Q Radio, and it almost feels like you're getting your groove again, which is great. So tell us a little bit about that and what it looks like.
So it started last year, and again it was like I was writing music. We sort of had a talk like earlier about you look back and it's embarrassing, but at the time it feels so right. But again, it's like finding who you are again. So I was releasing music last year and I was putting stuff out there just to get my name out there again. And that was sort of like the learning phase, whereas like I was learning what to do and what not to do. And recently I've just been producing. One thing I did learn was you can't, mixing and mastering is a huge thing in music. And I can't do everything. Producing, writing, producing, mixing and mastering, and then promoting. It's too much. So delegating and getting people to help is a good thing. So I have a guy helping in New York who mixes, and I have a guy in LA who masters the tracks.
Very good.
It's great to say that they're from New York and LA, but it doesn't really make a difference. They could be from fucking Bangor and thing, but it's nice to be in them circles because them guys are connected to certain people in the business and whatever. So it started last year, and this year it's really taking shape with TikTok, which for any musician you should be on. And a lot of them say, oh, I don't want to do that. You'll notice that there's millions of music getting put out today. And there's loads of artists all around this world. So to break through, you have to be different. You have to do your own thing. And because back to what we said earlier, you're not going to please everybody. But as long as you're growing an audience that you can put stuff out to, that's all that matters. So Release the Town, which is a song I wrote about, you can take the man out of here, but not the town out of me, sort of thing. People always say, aye, take a man out of Derry, but no, I can't take Derry out of man.
You hear it so
and I says that in a pure Claudia accent there. But, so, that came and people loved it, and I was like, let's put it out. Did it set the world alight? No, but it sort of gained a bit of traction.
Yes.
Which is all I really wanted it to do.
Yeah.
I knew it wouldn't have set the world alight. But, and I'm going to release a couple of covers here and there. I've always felt like I can do a good wedding song. Because of that sort of voice, it's a bit different. So trying that out, and then this next song is going to be, we're seeking big things for it. Like, it's not as if we're just going to throw it out and hope for the best.
Yeah.
We're planning a budget around it, and we're going to plan a whole campaign around it and strategy around it to make sure it goes further. And it's just consistency.
Looking ahead, Jordan is focused on building a life rooted in creativity, health and personal growth. He hopes to continue making music that resonates and inspires others through his story, and embrace the opportunities that come with living in full sobriety. For him, the future is about progress, purpose, and the freedom to define success in his own terms.
So what do you hope the future looks like for you then?
That's a tough one to answer, and I'll tell you why, because my dreams are too big to tell anybody, do you know what I mean? Because I think when you share a dream and you put it out there, people don't understand, or they don't they're not positive with it. No, like, this is what I'm hoping for, and they go, I know this is all pure philosophical. Do
you want me to restart that question?
No, it's fine. And what I'm saying is, like, if people are going to think, listen, they haven't go on the way, like, as if I'm some philosopher, but what I'm saying is, like, you don't need to tell someone, hey, I'm planning to do this here, and they go, oh, all right. Instantly, that's a negativity on what you're planning to do, and it just pins negativity around it. But the future for me just looks, I want to be supporting people, the short term supporting people, getting out playing gigs, getting my music out there, get the a certain amount of monthly listeners on Spotify, build my social media, and just be happy. Spend more time with my kids. Have more holidays with my family. Travel the world, and maybe in 5-6 years be selling at arenas and stuff. So
well, there you go. So you want it, like, it's all the core things that make doing the music worth it, like, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I really want to do business too. I want to get into property, which I have started already, but
yeah,
I want to get into that. I want to open a wee cafe. That's the way I do the food reviews, or open like a wee spot. I've always wanted to open 3 spots, one for each of the kids.
Yeah.
So Enrique's Burger Shack, because he loves his burgers. Matteo's Italian, pizza and pasta. 3 pastas, 1 pizza, and you can just put your toppings on it. They're nothing spectacular about it. Just making sure it's really, really good. Even though Matteo, he loves pizza and pasta, so, and he's the Italian name, Matteo.
Yeah.
And then Maya's ice cream parlor.
Oh, cute.
With homemade ice cream, she loves her ice cream. So there are 3 spots I always wanted to do. Well, they'll ever happen, you never know, but they're dreams, and hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much. I've really enjoyed talking to you today. It's like we've been friends for a while. It's so good that way. But I really appreciate it, and any of his social media and his songs will probably be in this. We'll see if we can use them. That would be really 100%. Good. But I thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
See ya. Bye.